All right, Apple event day. Let's jump into it. So, the most important thing, obviously, is that my camera can rack focus just like the iPhone 13. But since only I care about that, I did want to talk about what Apple announced today, not the specifics of the products. They did announce new iPhones, new iPads, and a new Apple Watch. I want to talk about the meta conversation around these. Now, I haven't been on Twitter, I haven't been on social media since they announced these things, so I have no idea how it's going, but I have an inkling that a lot of people are going to say these are boring updates. I want to talk about that, so let's jump into it. Apple makes some of the most performant, highest quality consumer computing products in the world. I think even if you don't personally like the types of things that they make, it's hard to argue with the fact that they're building best-in-class hardware. That was a thought going through my head today as I was watching Apple's event where they announced new iPads, new iPhones, and a new Apple Watch that all look really great, but aren't major updates over what Apple had last year. And I know that's always the case. Obviously, most people don't buy a new device every single year, but it seemed extra true this time, where these updates are definitely real, but they're not super substantial. And I think this simply speaks to the types of products Apple is making right now, at least in terms of their mobile devices, in terms of iPhones, iPads, and Apple Watches that they showed today. These are not the freshest product lines in the world. These are products that have been around for years. This is the 15th straight year we've gotten a new iPhone.
Are you getting it?
The iPad has been around for 11 years.
And we call it the iPad.
And we're on the 9th iteration of the Apple Watch.
We have one more thing.
So no, these products aren't changing dramatically year over year. They're incredibly good. The iPhones, the iPads, and the Apple Watch they showed off today look like incredible products. But they happen to be replacing the iPhone 12, the older iPads, and the Apple Watch Series 6 that are still amazing as well. And while this is potentially more boring for people like me who have to think of things to talk about when it comes to Apple's products, Apple's financials don't lie. Consumers really approve of this strategy. After all, we're talking about new iPhones, iPads, and Apple Watches that are, 20 to 30% better than last year's model. They're not dramatically different, but they're definitely better in basically every way. And when you do that year over year, you really get to an incredibly good place in terms of product quality. You may not notice a huge difference between the iPhone 12 Pro and the 13 Pro, but if I gave you an iPhone 10 that's just a couple years older, you'd be shocked at how much Apple has improved the product since then. We like to talk about compounding interest when it comes to investing and money in general, but it also applies to products. When you get the opportunity to take a good product and continue to iterate on it year over year and just keep making it better and not really regress in any ways, that's pretty incredible. And the products that you get out of it are really, really good. And this is good for consumers, right? Like if you have a whole bunch of iPhone 12 owners looking at today's announcement and saying, I'm actually pretty happy with my iPhone 12. I don't think I'm going to upgrade to the iPhone 13. Isn't that a good thing that products are coming out that are good enough that people want to use them for years and years? And even though there's new products and they are better in every single way, like I said, 20 to 30% better, the fact that consumers are happy and content and are happy to hold on to their products, which is good for their financials independently, it's good for the environment, of course. These seem like good things. And I think this is different from how a lot of Apple's competitors behave, especially when it comes to smartphones. When you look at what Samsung's doing with their foldable phones, that's a whole different thing. Like the changes year over year are much greater now and are much more interesting to talk about just because there's more of them. They're using more bleeding edge screen technology and stuff that introduced a whole bunch of problems that they now have to solve, right? And so it's definitely there is room for something like that in the market. There's definitely room for people who are iterating on something and those who are innovating more aggressively. And you have to have a balance, right? Every company has to have a balance. The whole market has to have a balance. And right now, those foldable phones are definitely more innovative, but the math on like how much better are they? Do they provide a better experience? Do I have to change my workflows? Those screens, I know they're better and they're definitely much better than they were a couple years ago, but like, are they as good as the normal screens we have on other smartphones? It's more complicated to communicate. And while that makes for great videos and makes for great kind of like excitement in the industry, it's maybe not the thing every consumer wants. And like I said, I think the market needs both. You need companies who are pushing the bounds more on the innovation front, and you need companies who are iterating on current technology to make it even better and more useful to all consumers. And I think that right now where Apple falls with their Apple Watch, with their iPhone, and with their iPad is they're going in more of the iterative direction. But I don't think that's going to be the case forever. These product lines will probably get some sort of technology that really pushes them to the next level. And at the very least, I think before we leave the Tim Cook era of Apple,
Good morning.
we're going to get something in terms of AR glasses or cars or just something AR. It's definitely going to be something AR related. But we're going to get something like that, and that's going to spur another wave of innovation when it comes to hardware from Apple. We're just not there right now. So yeah, that's where I think Apple is today. I think with their mobile devices, I think with the Mac, we're going to start seeing some more innovation because Apple Silicon is going to enable them to do more things. I think AirPods have a lot of room to grow. I think the Apple Watch still has some room to grow, but they've really kind of hit the limits of what current technology can do there. But I do think that we are on the precipice of some really exciting, really innovative products from Apple. This event just wasn't it. This event was all about iterating. This is about making the Apple Watch better than it was last year, which is going to make it way better than it was 3 years ago for the people who are most likely in the market for a new Apple Watch. Same for the iPhone, same for the iPad. That's what we got this week, and I don't think it is bad by any means. I'm definitely interested in some of these products. As someone who owns last year's iPhone, I certainly don't need it, but I will get it because I want to talk to you guys about it and kind of give you an idea about the experience, the cinematic mode. I kind of ragged on them for just taking what my camera already does, but obviously it's a different thing. So yeah, I'll be checking out some of this stuff, but I want to talk to you quickly about kind of what I think Apple's doing in the immediate aftermath of this event. Hope you had a good day. Hope you enjoyed Apple's presentation, and I will see you here next time. Bye-bye.